Okay, first, I just want to say to breathe and try to relax. I understand where you're coming from, and I don't think you are coming off as rude. I get it. I do. You don't have to agree. You're right, especially not when he is demanding this visit to go through his church and not an approved supervisor. And after listening to what he had to say while he was on the phone with me, I agree with you. He doesn't need to even have supervised visits at this point. I would be so frank as to take them off the table completely unless a judge orders them. He told me point blank on the phone that he knows you are offering this settlement so that you can move in with your boyfriend without being married. Because your boyfriend apparently can't get married or won't marry you. And you know no one else will want to. And he said he needs to physically see the kids because he believes that you are allowing people to Abu Dhabi the children and are using this move to hide the Abu Dhabi from him and the family court system. Here. And that's crazy, because you could see the kids at any time and would know if they were being mistreated. Yes, which I also explained that to him. And after I did, he then accused me of also Abu Dhabiing the kids or knowing about the Abu Dhabi and covering it up because I am corrupt. He knows that none of this is true. He is clearly pulling any excuse he can think of and throwing them to see if something sticks. I know that we both have said that the kids miss their dad and want to see him again. But isn't it clear at this point that it's healthier for them to have nothing to do with him until he actually gets the help he needs, because this can't be what's in their best interest. You're right, until he makes some major strides in his mental and emotional health, access to the kids will only cause them further trauma. So you aren't going to try to force this supervised visit? No, I already told him that as well. I know you have been under the impression that I have been very team dad this entire time, but in cases like this one, I need to make sure I do everything I can to prevent a party from being able to request an appeal. This case was never focused on you or your actions. It has always been about Bozo's misdeeds and inability to recognize his. If you and your CRH head attorney think for 1 minute I'm paying you all an additional $5,000 on top of all the other trumped-up shit you're forcing me to pay, you are sorely mistaken and we will be going to court. You better hope I'm reading this incorrectly. Paying additional money to not go to court? No, I'm not a criminal and never committed a crime. You guys are animals. Drop this sheet. Let the kids live with the parent they want to live with. And leave me alone. Your head is full of nonsense. You know what? Later. Bye-bye, ciao. Because I can sleep at night knowing I've never once lied or told a lie about anything in my life. You could never say the same. Please ensure to respond to my attorney on whether or not you will be accepting the settlement offer within the next 3 weeks. Thank you. You know what? I'll accept the settlement if you can give me one good valid reason as to why I would have to pay $5,000. That is for attorney's fees, as we are having to go through this due to your coaching of the kids and refusal to follow court order. If you're dumb enough to pay that much for your shitty attorney, that's not my problem. I was simply answering your question. Also, if we do go to court, the estimated cost of attorney's fees you will be assigned is close to $10,000. And the estimated chance that I'll be paying that is about 0%. So good luck with that. I am in talks with the gal to set up my visit with the kids. She is extremely suspicious of why you are keeping the kids from seeing me as well. Your secrets will soon be out for the world to know. I'm done paying your way. We could have settled this in mediation, but you can't cooperate. You did not show up for mediation and never paid your half of the cost for the mediator. We could have done so if you actually showed up. Another lie. I paid your half of the mediation cost. You should write down your lies to help keep track of them. Actually, you waited until the day before mediation to inform the courts you couldn't afford the fee. I paid my own. Here are the screenshots of that discussion between the two of us. You're right, I did, but it was a coincidence and not planned. So you acknowledge that you just lied about paying my half of the mediation fee. What are you even talking about? You make no sense. You said you paid my half of the mediation fees, then after I sent the screenshots. You said you couldn't afford mediation and didn't tell anyone until the day before court, but it was not on purpose. So you lied about paying any of the cost. I didn't lie about anything. I'm not the liar here. That's you and your twisted father. You're all immature, evil, and conniving people. Okay, Bozo, that's fine. Please respond to my attorney as soon as possible. Have a great night. Yup, there you go. If you want the truth, I've already told you. I didn't pay it because I couldn't afford it because you guys are drowning me with demanding money and I was working on it, but nobody won. Ted to work with me. I needed more time and nobody would give it to me even though I asked for it. And I was also really sick with COVID at the time, really bad. But nobody cared about that either because nobody ever cares about me. But for real, stop messaging me. You're super annoying and I'm trying to enjoy the fried chicken dinner my smoking hot wife cooked for me. Hey man, brothers before hoes. Right, that's why I got to tell you what has been going on since you were deployed. I just thought you should know that Bri has been non-stop trying to hook up with me since you left the country. I've tried to be nice about it. But I'm married and I won't let her continue to disrespect my wife and Vez like this. She literally showed up at my house 2 nights ago and tried to get me to sleep with her. I had to hold my wife back from beating her ass. I know you're trying to get her to move with you and you want a little instant family with her, but you got to see how insane she is before you do that. She's like herpes man. You can't get rid of her. That's crazy, because I was with her 2 nights ago. Wild how she could be 2 places at once. Don't act like I'm the one who's the liar here. You want proof, because I can send you proof. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Asterisk sends screenshot of suggestive messages and picture from Bri clearly dated the same year Bri and Bozo got married asterisk. This is really sad, even for you. Well, Bozo, this is the last time I'm going to tell you. If you want me to agree to let you move in with your little boyfriend and play house, you better stop trying to flirt with me and hook up with me. I am not interested. I don't want you, and the idea makes me sick. I love it when you ignore my messages because it just confirms exactly how right I am and how guilty you are. So fucking sick. You know, it may have worked when this all first started. I may have fell for it just to get our family back. But now I know that you will always be the Abu Dollar I've evil who dollar why you always have been. Please remember that my attorney needs to know your decision by this date. Honestly, I think you really need to beg me, because if I agree to this, I'm only doing you a favor. I'm willing to go to court and watch the judge wipe the floor with you. But I've been trying to work with you. You really should thank me for even considering this. Does Bryce know you barely even put out, or that you don't cook or clean or do anything that makes it worth putting up with you? Because it doesn't make sense why he would be willing to put up with you. I saw the messages you've been sending my husband. I suggest you stop trying to come between my husband and I if you know what's good for you. You have Abu Dollar at this man enough. You don't even know how badly scarred he is from living with you all of those years. Just talking about the Abu Dollar you put him through brings him to tears. A grown man shouldn't even cry like that. I haven't messaged your husband anything inappropriate or offensive in any regard. Please do not continue to communicate with me. Lol, no way. If you don't want me to message you, you can block me. But we all know you won't because you thrive off of the drama. And you think you're doing something and collecting evidence for your bullshit claims. Why is it that Bozo is happy and in love and in a beautiful marriage? And you can't even get the guy you destroyed your family for to actually marry you? Maybe you should stop and realize you are the problem. Because Lord knows that the only reason Bozo was with you is because you baby-trapped him. I'm surprised you haven't tried that yet. Please do so. And focus on your new victim and leave my family alone. Whole house clean out. Come by this address on this date for the best deals on clothes, furniture, and other appliances. We are moving and downsizing, and our loss is your gain. Any reasonable offer will be accepted, so don't miss out of the deal of a lifetime. You're moving. Why? My little girl is going to be devastated you're taking her little bestie away from her. We're trying to downsize to save on bills so we can hire the best family law attorney in the area. We have to get custody of my step-babies. Oh my gosh, you are the sweetest. We will come by first thing to see if there is anything we can buy to help you guys out. I'll be praying for you all and those babies. Thank you so much, girl. You know kids are my life. And we just can't sit by knowing baby girl has siblings that are being neglected and mistreated and not fight with everything we have to get them to. Safety. Take down the picture of my PS5. I'm not selling that. Also, this listing. I don't know why you're posting my games and laptop when you know that I use those. I am willing to sign this agreement if you will bring the kids to the fall festival they are having at my church this weekend. I will not approach you or the children. And they will have no idea that I am there. But in order to sign this paperwork and feel good in my soul about it, I just need to see the kids and know they are okay. That is my final offer. Once again, I apologize that this has been difficult for you, but I will not be violating the court order. While I'm sure the kids would love the festival, I do not trust that you will not attempt to communicate or approach them. As God is my witness, I would never do that. I am nothing like you, and that is something you would do. Thank God I am nothing like you. I have way more better conversational skills than you. By far, and you will never compare to me. You will never be able to achieve who I am or what I have because you are too deceitful and manipulative. I know you too well. Your polished answers tell me all I need to know. You're fake and not fooling me for 1 second. A polished turd is still a piece of shit. And there's not enough holy water in the world to cleanse your soul. It's crazy as fuck how disrespectful your own fucking family can be when you have gone out of your way to be a blessing on their life and help them in every way possible. Like, how are you going to say you support me when you go out of your way to talk shit behind my back and act like it's my fault that things happen? That's not family. That's living with the enemy. But fine by me. You want to act like I'm not your son, then I'm going to act like you aren't my family either. Matter of fact, who the fuck are you? You want to act like a little spoiled sheet and talk like this on book face? Go for it. But you can also move out of my house. Don't forget where you would be if we didn't agree to let you and your family live here. Show some respect. Wow, so sorry you had to actually act like a father and a parent for once. I shouldn't have to thank you for helping your child. You're a 30-year-old man with a wife, stepchild, and 3 kids. You should grow the heat 11 up and get a job. You aren't the king of this fucking castle. She is my daughter, not my stepdaughter. Watch your fucking mouth. So what happens if Bozo signs this settlement you offered him? Does he have to pay for a lawyer still? No, because we won't be going to court for a while. He will have to complete individual therapy for a set amount of time. And then we'll transfer to reunification therapy with the kids when it is deemed safe. And he would get the kids back after that. He would be able to petition the court to reinstate his former parenting time once all previous steps were completed and it was deemed appropriate. So he doesn't absolutely need an attorney right now. It's not required. Technically, no. I mean, it's always good to have an attorney, but he isn't required to have one. Okay, I am going to make sure he agrees to sign this settlement and gets it turned in by the time it has to be turned in by. He needs to get out of my house. And if he doesn't need an attorney, he can use that money to pay for an apartment. Okay, just make sure he informs my attorney when he agrees to sign. She will be hearing from him within the next few days. I guarantee it. Tell your attorney that I am willing to sign the settlement if I'm allowed to pick what therapist I want to go to for individual therapy. That's fine. We can have that added. But they will require you to release the medical records from your sessions to us so we can confirm once you've completed the ordered sessions and the therapist call. And discuss with us. That's not a problem. I will be going through the VA and will be able to get access to the attorney easily. Are you sure? Because that's what you said last time, and we still never got your VA records for the psychological evaluation. That was an issue on your end, not mine. If your attorney does it correctly this time, you might actually get what you wanted. All right then. I will send her the information and she should contact you in the next day or so. It's a shame it had to be like this, but it shows how unjust the system is to good dads. But this should show you I am willing to go through E11 itself for my babies. Hi Bozo, just checking in on if you are still planning on signing the settlement agreement like we discussed. Because we have to submit it to the courts by end of day today or else we will have to go to trial. I said I would sign it. Just tell the judge that we need more time so that I can review it more in depth with a legal advisor. It shouldn't take more than a few days. I understand that you would like to do so, but as you have been told multiple times, it has to be submitted today. You have had over a month to review this settlement, and now there is no more time. I don't see what the big deal is. If we both are in agreement to settle outside of court, we can just go to our trial date and tell the judge. Same results. No, not the same results. If we go to trial, I will be taking on another large expense because you are once again failing to follow through. So if I am going to trial, I will no longer be in agreement with this settlement. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'd love to drag your ass through court and deny you the right to move. And I will be fighting to strip you of your rights completely. So happy that baby girl and I got to spend her birthday with family back home. I know her granny and Pop miss their grandbaby so much. This kind of post is what makes me hold myself back from forming that kind of relationship with baby girl. I love her like she is my son's daughter. But you refuse to allow me to actually act like a grandmother. I'm tired of being hurt. I don't know what you're talking about. Baby girl thinks of you and Melvin as her grandparents as well and loves you both so much. I was just happy we got to go home to see my parents. This isn't a jab at you. Oh, it most definitely is, especially because you made sure to say she spent her birthday with her family. We are her family too, but I guess not according to you. We're family enough to take you in for free. We're family enough to babysit for you whenever you want. Family enough to do all of that, but not family enough to spend baby girl's birthday with. What are you talking about? You never even acknowledged her birthday was coming up or cared when we left for the airport. Only once I post a birthday picture. Grow up. Of course I didn't mention it. Why would I when you walk around my house acting like a spoiled and grateful brat? You know, my son really needs to figure out why he continues to pick women like you. First Bri, now you monsters who use their children as weapons. Don't compare me to that bitch. I have done nothing but be grateful, and you go behind my back and talk about me to my husband. You literally were talking about suing me for grandparents' rights a few weeks ago. And I should, because clearly your head is not on straight. Bozo, deal with your parents for once in your life. Maybe your relationships would last longer if your parents didn't get involved every 5 seconds. Babe, chill. She just loves baby girl and wants to be involved. You're overreacting for no reason. Wow, really? You know what? Fuck your whole Psycho Ash family. I'm done with all of you guys. You all need some serious therapy. Asterisk upon investigation. After this last comment, Alai stripped her public photos of any pictures involving Bozo or his family asterisk. Paperwork has been signed and dropped off at your attorney's office before end of business day. You win, okay. So back off and get out of my life now, please and thank you. Great, thank you so much for getting that turned in on time. We will still need to go in front of the judge so he can sign off on it, but there shouldn't be any issues. What do you mean still have to go to court? I thought the entire reason for this was to stay out of court. To stay out of trial, yeah. This is just to ensure the agreement is signed off on. We don't have to be there, but I will be there with my attorney just in case the judge needs anything from me. I won't be there. The last thing I want to do is see your ugly ash face. Just let me know when it's done. Okay, sounds good. Have a great day. Have the day you deserve, which would be a shitty one, where you preferably drive off a cliff. And tell my babies that Daddy is going to be with them so soon. Your Honor, my client and the defendant have come to a mutually acceptable settlement, in which both parties have signed off on. I have submitted this agreement for consideration of the courts. I see, and is the defendant, Mr. Bozo Blank, in the courtroom with us today? No, Your Honor, he has elected not to attend today. And Ms. Blank, do you believe the stipulations of the settlement are ones that can reasonably be completed by Mer Blank? Your Honor, I believe any reasonable adult would be able to complete the stipulations outlined in the settlement. But do you believe Mr. Blank to be a reasonable adult? For the sake of our children, I would hope that he is. An admirable response. I assume that if Mr. Blank had any objections to this agreement, he would have made himself available for court today, as he did not. I see no reason not to sign this agreement into order. Congratulations, Ms. Blank. You're free to finally move on with your life. I honestly hope to never see you again in my courtroom. Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about something before we see Bryce this weekend. What is it? Are you planning a surprise or something? Not really a surprise, but I do have an idea that I want to talk to you guys about that I think would be super exciting for us all. What is it? You know how we always have a good time when Bryce comes over and we get to do things all together, and everyone is kind of bummed when he has to leave. Are we finally going to get to have a sleepover with Bryce? Is he going to have to sleep in our room? I don't want him to sleep in our room because he snores. I heard him snore when he was sleeping in the car and it was super loud. No, you don't have to let him sleep in your room, but he is moving soon and he wants us to move with him into his new house. I think that it would be a really good idea for us, don't you? A new house with Bryce? Yes. Do I get my own room? Can I pick my room? That's something we have to see about, but I'd like for us to find a house where you all will have your own rooms. Son, what do you think? Asterisk Son looks shocked, then begins to tear up and runs out of the room asterisk. Hey bud, what's going on? If you are worried about us living with Bryce, I would really like for us to talk through it. No, I'm not worried about Bryce. I just feel really, really bad and guilty, and I don't like it. Why do you think you're feeling that way? Is it because you think Grandma and Grandpa would miss us after we move out? Because I promise they will still see us all the time. No, I feel bad because I'm really, really excited to live with Bryce and you in a new house. And it makes me feel bad because I know Daddy will be so mad if he knew I was happy about it. And he won't love me anymore. He always used to tell us that if you have a boyfriend, we aren't allowed to like him or call him Dad. And it hurts my feelings and makes me feel bad because I want Bryce to be my dad. I want to do dad things with him that Daddy never would do with me. And I know if Daddy thinks I'm happy about this, he will never come back and see us again, and it will be all my fault because I'm supposed to be the man of the house since he's gone. And I don't miss him, but I know Oldest does. I don't want Oldest to hate me if Daddy stays away forever because of me. Listen, bud, because I'm very serious right now and I need you to hear me and understand Daddy not being around the last 2 years is not your fault or my fault. Daddy has chosen not to be around because of his behaviors. It has nothing to do with you or how much he or I love you. You are so loved, and you should never feel one single second of doubt about that. Nobody, not me or Daddy, should ever expect you to stay unhappy and miserable just to keep them happy. You get to be happy and enjoy your life no matter how your dad or I feel. And if Bryce being a father figure makes you happy, then that's great. Do you think he would let me call him Dad? I don't want him to think I'm weird or something if I ask him. Son, I think you calling him Dad would be the best gift you could ever give Bryce. And I know for a fact he thinks of all of you as his kids. But you do not have to call him that unless it's what you really want. I think he is going to be a much better dad than Daddy ever has been. I don't think Bryce would ever really leave us. I mean, he went overseas for a super long time. And he still called and he still... When are you planning on removing my children from the state? There is not a set date yet. Once we have secured the right home, I will let you know when we will be expected to begin living at our new place. I have a letter from my counselor stating I am not a threat to the children or you. I will be sending it to your attorney today so I can begin transitioning to reunification therapy. Your counselor or your therapist. My peer counselor. The pastoral staff at my church offers that service to members for free, and he sees no reason as to why I'm being kept away from my babies. Bozo. It specifically says in our settlement that you have to attend individual therapy with a licensed therapist or psychologist for this set amount of time up until they agree it is appropriate for you to begin reunification therapy. A peer counselor is not a licensed therapist. They have more years of experience than most licensed therapists in the area do. You're just trying to kick me when I'm down. Those are the terms we agree to. We'll see about that, because you aren't in charge of me anymore. You lost your power when we signed this agreement. Despite Bozo's unnatural confidence, despite literally always being wrong, the peer counselor was not an acceptable substitute for a licensed therapist per the court. At this point in time, he has yet to notify the courts if he has begun individual therapy. It appears that he is too busy unfriending and re-adding his wife on Bookface every other day for therapy. Bri and Bryce are excited about their future. They are hoping to wait on the move until the end of the school year to not mess with the kids' academic success. Oldest has made incredible progress academically this year. She was accepted into the media team at her elementary school and has the goal of being on the morning announcements team, which has motivated her to overcome her struggles with reading. Middle has had a night and day turnaround after the conversation that Bri had with him about everything. He finally seems at peace. Youngest is still terrifying. She will either be a CEO or a mob boss. There is no in between. She is currently demanding a baby sister from Bryce and Bri. Bryce has not yet asked Bri to marry him, but I have a very strong suspicion that the next time he asks,